So the current grid I have is a 1 inch by 1 inch, and you can see that these are 1 inch blocks, but then this last one is a 1/2 inch in width all the way across. I am going to be transferring my drawing onto a 9 by 12 inch piece of paper, which is why we have a 4.5 by 6 here, because 4.5 doubled is 9 and 6 doubled is 12. So this will be our 9 inches by 12 inches based on our 4.5 by 6. So what I'm going to do is enlarge this to a 2 by 2 instead of a 1 by 1 inch box. So when I make my 2 by 2 grid, what I'm going to do is use a regular ruler, and I'm going to mark every 2 inches where that lands so I can make my grid lines. Make sure your ruler's in the exact correctly starting point, because you don't want to have this thrown off. So I've got them at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then 12 is the edge of the paper. That's exactly what I want. So I'm going to bring this down, line up my grid again. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. After I've done that, I'm going to connect these lines. And what you're going to be doing is the contour lines you've drawn last class on the 1 by 1 inch blocks, you are now going to be putting that on your 2 by 2 grid. Everything will be a little bit larger than it was the first time, and that is on purpose. So everything should be twice as big to fill the page. So now I've got grids this way, but in order to complete my paper, I need to do lines the other way. So I still need to have 2 inch by 2 inch, but obviously now my paper is shorter in this direction. So that's not going to fill all 2 inches. I start at 2, then I go to 4, then 6, then 8, but then between 8 and 9, I've just got 1 inch left. That is because the 1/2 inch you have here now doubles to 1 inch when everything else is 2 inches. So this 1 inch became 2 inches, this 1/2 inch becomes 1 inch. That will cover the rest of your paper. I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, and then I've got 1 inch here. You're going to just leave that there. You're not going to do anything to that box. So now all the way across where I've made those tick marks, this is my 1 inch in height or width, depending on which orientation your paper is. That will be that 1/2 inch turned to 1 inch. I'm just going to go along all of the tick marks I just made. Make sure everything is evenly lined up from one end to the other. And there you have it. 2 inches by 2 inches with that 1 inch left over to make up for the 1/2 inch we have here. So you would line up your paper the same way you did your contour line drawing. So if the top of your drawing, say down here, are your vases and the flowers and the objects you brought in, this is still the top. Wherever you have the 1/2 inch on your smaller grid needs to be where the 1 inch is on your 2 by 2 grid. You don't want to have it upside down because things are going to be in the wrong spaces.